Ohayou gozaimasu, minasan. We are getting ready for the work, and we're going, baby. Okay, so theme of today's chat, and I'm gonna upload these like in a mass upload, and then they'll have a backlog for you to look at, and then I'll try and do it more as a consistent. So this would be, I'm kind of famous. I know, I was already famous in your hearts and your minds. So backstory, origin time. I've been listening to the Elvis Duran show for, honestly, I don't know, maybe like a long time. I definitely listened to it as a kid and was like, oh, those guys are funny. And then after coming back from Japan, I started listening more as I played the Pokemons, and they're funny. And I have a favorite cast member, Gandhi. I think probably there's I have a similar energy as Gandhi. I think there's a little bit of a chaoticness, a little bit of a sneakiness, a little bit of a menace energy. Now, Gandhi has her own podcast called Sauce on the Side. She likes hot sauce, and that's pretty cool. And then her and her co-host Diamond, and then sometimes the other guy, Andrew from the show, they talk about stuff, and they just sort of shoot the shit. And why I relate to Gandhi is I would say because we're about the same age, millennial way of thinking, the amount of things we have grown up with, things we've experienced. So I think there's a similar lived experience there, which is cool. So you're like, okay, so what, bro? You like to listen to this? So, first of all, check it out. The Elvis Duran is definitely a good laugh for sure. New York-based podcast run by the host. Where the fuck do people come from? You know what? Quick rant. I swear, sometimes I'm just driving and then like a car will come out of nowhere. I'm telling you, like, I think my sense of awareness is pretty okay. Like, I definitely have a reasonable, spatial awareness. And sometimes these cars come like, where did this car come from? And I'm telling you, people drive too crazy or too fast or too whatever. It's like, okay, so since transitioning to this job from Starbucks, I was on local roads for the second location. Before that, I did take the highways to Amityville. That was like a 10-minute drive. Now, for sure, I'm driving 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. 20 minutes in the morning, maybe 30 minutes, depending on traffic. 40 like max if it's like a crazy traffic kind of day. So, there you have that. So I'm definitely driving a solid, good portion of my day to and from work. And people are like, man, I'm not super aggressive. Definitely younger me was more aggressive driving. I think getting older, right, you want to be careful, right, because nobody's going to watch out for you, and they're just going to be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And then thought from yesterday is younger me had a issue with stubbornness and forcing my opinions and ideas on people. Which, right, that could just be being younger, and as you get older, you're slow down a little bit. You're not as like, need things to be a certain way. Although as you get older, you can get stuck. But that for me was an observation yesterday. And how this relates to traffic is that, hey, you're driving, you're like, oh, I was here, I was going, and you're like, broski. Because right at the end of the day, it takes two people to have a problem, whether it's a physical problem like a car, or it's like an argument. And getting older and maturing emotionally, spiritually, is like you have to say, oh, like, well, this was not exactly. I've definitely been very lazy recently. Like this past month, it's eating wise, it's just not really there. Going to gym, it's kind of okay. My steps is okay. Um, although I've been able to be there for my friends in an interesting way, so that is curious. So yes, back to the why I'm famous now. I was featured. I was on Gandhi's podcast. I was on it. So they have a callback feature, which I think is pretty cool. You basically leave them a 30-second, which probably not enough, but it's enough to say, hey, a little something. But then I was on the show. My voice was heard by millions. Now, if somebody's like, hey, I heard you on the podcast, I'll be like, yes, finally. My moment of triumph. Dinner time! If you know the reference, oh, baby. I'm going to be late to work. Well, there you have it. So, Elvis Duran show. Elvis is kind of interesting. He is from Texas, moved to New York. Definitely a celebrity figure now. He's been doing the radio show forever. He is gay. Energy is very good, very funny, very laughy. So definitely appreciate the show. So like to give you more perspective, it's like a bunch of hosts. They talk about things like there's like the need to know from Gandhi. There's 3 things. There's Danielle. She's from the Bronx, so she's kind of like really like the New York feel, and she gives like 3 like also things. Scary is also from New York. He does more like the soundboard and stuff. And then there's Froggy, who's in Florida, and he does food news on Thursday, which is that today? It is today. So Froggy Food News. What I appreciate about the show, which I think I also embody, is just a little bit of playfulness, a little bit of fun. Right, so people listen to the show going to work, and it's interesting, right? That all these people are being influenced by something a little bit. And I think that's what I'd like to do somehow. And for me, frustrating is just sort of like focusing my energy to do something. Definitely kind of just so many things going on that your mind gets overwhelmed. And then I have like very like do it mentality, and some other times like fuck this mentality. To my benefit and to my detriment. So that was so I'm kind of famous. I'm gonna share that. I don't know how to structure my day at this point. I'm so just like because I have work which is like 9 hours, 8 to 5, and then it's like 5 to 9. I don't know. I really don't know what to do. Like I want to go to the gym, but it's like I want to walk, see people, I want to like do things. There's just not enough time, and work is kind of like it's okay. It really is okay. I'm not inspired by my work. Like it's just I show up and I do stuff. Like, there's no connecting with people. A lot of my coworkers are just like younger, so like their perspective is different. Where they're at is different. So like connecting with them is kind of like definitely it's just different. I guess this is like getting older. You have to really think, how can you connect with people who are in a different stage of life? So interesting, like after the Tony Robbins event, I was trying to connect with people, and then one woman who I reached out to was like, so like what are you investing in? And I was like, that's an interesting question. Like how did you come to ask that? That's a little bit of growth on my part, whereas past me would have been like offended, like what the fuck, are you trying to get something out of me? I mean, that's maybe the New York and scarcity mindset from my grandparents. And then no, she was like, no, I'm because then like I saw she had a picture of her daughter, and I was just reaching out to people in the New York area. So yeah, I get it. So yeah, scarcity mindset versus abundance. So my grandparents, they grew up in World War II, post-World War II Germany, and yeah, so I think just given that, their mindset and fear like instilled in their bones from the war, like that you can't I know. Can't really undo that. Right? That's handling and processing that is therapy. And like, interestingly enough, my friends were like, "Hey, you should see a therapist." And I used to see one. I don't know why I'm not seeing one now. That is a great question. I don't think I need it, but I mean, obviously, like, it's always good to talk to a therapist. The reason I gave them, and just give a little more insight to me, is bookkeeping, logistical stuff with like doctors or like tax and shit like that. I hate that stuff. I hate that. It's like something on insurance. I got to figure things out. I have to be like a very, very like motivated and like be like, oh, cool, I have these wins, and then tackle that. Or you could do the classic eat the frog, but then see like the energy of my days is like basically kind of roll out, get to work, and then it's like I have 4 hours of just like grabbing vape products, and it's like I can't really use my creative early energy like at all. There's no way to actually channel that energy to produce something. And at the end of the day, I'm just sort of left with the leftover energy. So like, I don't know how other people's days go. What kind of energy and what kind of flow do you have? I guess the job would affect it. Compared to Starbucks, where with people or interacting with people, I am generating that experience and time with them. So I'm able to shift my energy, or shift it more with a barista position. Now I'm just kind of like, or I'm not interacting with just my coworkers. I do notice my mind will go from like very open discussing mode to a very like focused mode of trying to do something. So that's interesting. I don't know if other people experience those. I mean, I could be talking with therapists, but I guess it's sort of my therapy. Thank you for listening. But like, right, if we just did this more, so instead of journaling, right, I'm sitting with the thoughts, thinking. Book Let Go has definitely been interesting. It's been in my life for a while, and I wonder if that scarcity mindset I mentioned also is coming up. So I'm going to say this part one because I have to do a quick little text, and then I will come back. So this will be like part one of being famous and scarcity. So there you have it.